Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing a deep dive into the benefits of meditation,
Sounds great.
specifically how it can boost your happiness. We're taking a look at this fascinating article from Spavelous magazine. It's called Benefits of Meditation, Thrive Every Day. And it's got some really interesting insights.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, when they think of meditation, they think of, just relaxation.
Yeah, like just zoning out, emptying your mind.
Right. But it's actually way more than that. It really engages like your mind, your body, and your spirit, all three.
The whole package deal, yeah. I mean, people have been doing this for centuries, right?
Absolutely. And, for centuries, people have connected meditation to like peace and well-being.
Right.
But what's really fascinating is that modern science is actually starting to understand why.
That's what I love about this topic. It's like ancient wisdom meeting modern science.
Correct.
And it's really cool to see how the two are like coming together.
Totally.
Okay, so before we get into all the science-y stuff,
Yeah.
I think it's helpful to like take a step back and just define what meditation actually is.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a lot of like misconceptions out there.
Absolutely. At its core, meditation is about focusing your attention.
Okay.
It's about calming that constant stream of thoughts that we all have and finding a sense of stillness and clarity within the mind.
So it's not about like totally emptying your mind.
Not necessarily. It's more about just observing your thoughts without getting like carried away by them.
Okay.
It's like watching clouds drift by.
I like that analogy.
You see them, you notice them, but you don't have to like grab them or overthink them.
Okay, just let them float on by.
Exactly.
Okay, so that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And I know that there are different types of meditation.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. Can you talk a little bit about like some of the most common ones?
Yeah, so three common ones are mindfulness meditation, guided meditation, and transcendental meditation. So mindfulness is all about just being present in this moment, noticing your thoughts and feelings without judgment.
Okay.
Guided meditation uses like a voice or imagery to lead you through a specific experience.
Oh, okay.
And transcendental meditation uses a mantra,
Okay.
which is a repeated sound or phrase to help settle the mind.
So it's like there's a style for everyone, right?
Exactly.
Like choosing the right workout, you've got options.
I like that analogy. It's about finding what works for you.
Yeah, finding what clicks.
Right.
Cool. All right, so going back to the science for a second.
Sure.
The article mentions that like meditation can actually change your brain structure,
It's true.
which I find like mind-blowing. What's going on there?
Yeah, so imagine your brain is like a muscle, right?
Okay.
Just like lifting weights can make your muscles bigger, research shows that meditation can actually increase gray matter in certain areas of the brain.
And gray matter that's the good stuff, right? Like more is better.
More is better.
Yeah.
Gray matter is where all the processing happens in your brain. And the areas that get a boost from meditation are linked to things like memory, self-awareness, and empathy.
Wow. So it's like it could make you sharper A&D, kinder.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. Helps you understand yourself better and connect with others on a deeper level.
That's really interesting. So what else is like going on in the brain when you meditate?
Another incredible thing is that it decreases cortisol. Do you know what cortisol is?
Oh yeah, cortisol, the stress hormones.
Look at that.
Public enemy number one.
Right. And like constantly having high levels of cortisol is linked to like all sorts of problems. And meditation helps to regulate it.
So it's like a natural way to like chill out.
Exactly. By reducing cortisol, meditation helps reduce anxiety, improve sleep, and even boost your immune system.
So it's not just about feeling zen, it's about improving how you function in everyday life.
Absolutely. Lower stress and anxiety mean better focus, more mental clarity, and even improved decision-making. Plus, better sleep and a stronger immune system mean you're less likely to get sick. You're better equipped to deal with whatever life throws at you.
Okay, so we've got these amazing brain changes happening.
Right.
But like, what do they actually mean for your life day to day? What are the concrete benefits you can experience?
That's a great question, because it's not just like this abstract stuff.
Right.
It has real-world implications for how you feel, how you interact with others, and how you navigate like the challenges of life.
But like leveling up your life in different areas.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we can explore three major benefits that you can actually see and feel.
Okay, let's do it.
So we've got stress relief, better sleep, and improved physical health, and then emotional balance and self-awareness.
All right, let's unpack that. Starting with stress relief, what can meditation actually do?
Okay, so think about how stress affects you, right? Like it takes a toll on your well-being. Meditation gives you a natural and effective way to manage that stress by calming both your mind and your body.
Oh.
And when you practice regularly, you're likely to see a noticeable reduction in anxiety. That means you can face those daily challenges with more ease.
So you're not just masking the stress, you're actually building up your ability to handle it.
Precisely. Meditation helps you develop this sense of inner peace and resilience. So instead of getting overwhelmed, you can respond to stressful situations with more composure and clarity.
Okay, that makes sense. But how does meditation actually reduce stress? Like, what's happening in my body when I meditate?
Well, remember we talked about cortisol, the stress
Yeah.
hormone.
Yeah.
Meditation has been shown to lower those levels. And when cortisol goes down, you feel less anxious, more relaxed. You're less likely to have that fight or flight response that makes stress so overwhelming.
It's like hitting the reset button on your stress response. Interesting. So instead of freaking out, you can take a breath and think clearly.
Exactly. And the benefits go beyond just feeling calmer. Lower cortisol is also linked to better sleep, a brighter mood, and even a stronger immune system.
Wait, hold on. Better sleep. You're telling me meditation can help with that? Because I know a lot of people struggle with sleep.
You're absolutely right. Many people do. And meditation can be a game changer. Think about it. When your mind is racing with thoughts and worries, it's hard to fall asleep or stay asleep. Meditation helps quiet those thoughts, creating a sense of calm that's perfect for restful sleep.
So it's almost like giving your mind a bedtime story. But instead of someone reading to you, you're creating that peacefulness yourself.
That's a great way to put it. And the best part is, it's completely natural. You don't need medication or special equipment. You could do it anywhere, anytime.
You mentioned physical health benefits too, not just mental. I thought this was all about the mind.
It is about the mind. But here's the thing. Your mind and body are deeply connected. When you reduce stress and anxiety through meditation, it has a ripple effect on your whole system. Studies have linked meditation to lower blood pressure, a healthier heart, and even a stronger immune system.
Wow, so it really is a holistic thing.
It is. And it's not just preventative. Meditation can also help manage existing health conditions.
Okay, we've talked stress relief and physical health. What about the emotional side of things? How does meditation play into that?
Meditation is incredibly powerful for building emotional balance and self-awareness. It teaches you to observe your emotions without judgment so you have a healthier relationship with your inner world.
So you're not suppressing emotions, you're just understanding them better.
Exactly. Meditation helps you develop mindfulness, which means you can notice your emotions as they come up without getting swept away. You're more in control, so you can respond to challenging situations with more skill and composure.
Okay, that makes sense, but I have to admit, it's a little hard to grasp sometimes. Can you give me a real-life example of how this plays out?
Sure. Imagine you're stuck in traffic, and you start to feel that familiar road rage bubbling up. Instead of letting it take over, mindfulness lets you notice it. Okay, I'm feeling frustrated right now. That simple act of awareness creates space between you and the emotion, so you can choose how to respond instead of just reacting. Maybe you take a few deep breaths or put on some calming music. You're in the driver's seat.
Ah, okay, I'm starting to get it. It's like you're building a muscle for emotional awareness.
Exactly. And the more you practice, the stronger that muscle gets.
This all sounds great, but for someone who's completely new to meditation, where do they even begin? It can feel overwhelming.
It's much simpler than you might think. The key is to start small and be patient with yourself. There are so many different approaches, so you can find what works for you. But here's a basic guide to get started.
All right, listeners, take notes.
First, find a quiet spot where you won't be disturbed. It could be a cozy corner at home, a peaceful place outside, or even your office if you can find a few minutes of privacy. Next, set a timer for just 5 minutes. You don't have to jump into a marathon meditation session right away. Then, just focus on your breath. Notice the feeling of each inhale and each exhale. This will help focus your attention and bring you into the present moment. And lastly, be patient. It's totally normal for your mind to wander. When you notice your thoughts drifting away, gently guide them back to your breath. No judgment, just gentle redirection.
So it's not about stopping your thoughts completely. It's about noticing them and bringing your attention back to the present.
Exactly. Meditation is a practice, not a test. There's no right or wrong way to do it. The most important thing is to show up consistently and cultivate mindfulness in your daily life.
That's so reassuring. I think a lot of people get intimidated because they think they have to be perfect at it. But you're saying it's more about the journey, not the destination.
Absolutely. It's about showing up consistently and integrating mindfulness into your daily life. And the way you practice, the more natural it becomes.
Okay, that makes sense. You mentioned there are a lot of different approaches to meditation. Can you give us a quick rundown of some of the most common ones?
Sure. We've already talked about mindfulness meditation, which is great for beginners. But there's also guided meditation, where you listen to a voice or music that leads you through a specific experience, and transcendental meditation, which uses a mantra to quiet the mind. And there's loving kindness meditation, which focuses on cultivating compassion and goodwill toward yourself and others.
Wow, there are so many options. It's like a buffet of meditation techniques. How do you know which one is right for you?
It really comes down to personal preference. Some people connect with mindfulness meditation right away, while others prefer the structure and guidance of a guided meditation. Transcendental meditation is often recommended for those looking for deep relaxation and better concentration, and loving kindness meditation is great for emotional healing and building strong relationships.
So it's all about experimenting and finding what resonates with you.
Exactly. There's no one-size-fits-all approach. The most important thing is to find a technique you enjoy and that you can stick with.
I love that. Speaking of sticking with it, I think a lot of us lead busy lives, and finding time for anything new, even something as beneficial as meditation, can feel overwhelming.
You're absolutely right. It's important to be realistic about the time you have and find ways to make meditation fit into your existing routine.
So no need to quit my job and move to a monastery.
Not unless that's your calling. You can reap the benefits of meditation without making huge life changes.
Okay, good to know. What are some practical ways to fit meditation into a busy schedule?
One great strategy is to incorporate meditation into your morning routine. Even just 5 minutes of mindfulness practice before you start your day can make a huge difference in how you feel and how you approach your tasks.
So instead of scrolling through social media first thing in the morning, swap it for a few minutes of quiet reflection. I like that.
Exactly. And you can also use meditation to recharge during your workday. If you have a few minutes between meetings or during your lunch break, find a quiet spot and just take a few deep breaths. It's like pressing pause on the chaos and giving yourself a mini mental vacation.
I love the idea of a mental vacation. What about before bed? Is that a good time to meditate?
Absolutely. Unwinding with a short meditation before bed can help you relax, let go of the day's tension, and set yourself up for better sleep.
So you're basically giving your mind permission to clock out for the night.
Exactly. And remember, even if you only have a few minutes, those minutes are powerful. Consistency is key. It's much better to meditate for 5 minutes every day than for an hour once a week.
That's reassuring. I think a lot of people give up on meditation because they feel they can't devote enough time to it. But you're saying that small, consistent efforts can still make a big impact.
Absolutely. It's about making meditation a habit, something you do regularly, not a chore you have to cram in.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. But even when you know something is good for you, sticking with it can be tough. Any advice on how to make meditation a sustainable part of your life?
Two important things are creating a supportive environment and establishing a consistent routine. Think about setting up a dedicated space for your meditation practice. It doesn't need to be fancy, just a quiet corner where you feel comfortable and can focus.
Like a little sanctuary for your mind.
Exactly. And minimize distractions. Turn off your phone, dim the lights, maybe light a candle, or use some aromatherapy to make it a sensory experience you look forward to.
That sounds amazing. I can practically feel myself relaxing already.
And when it comes to establishing a routine, start small and be patient with yourself. Set a realistic goal, maybe just 5 minutes a day to begin with, and gradually increase the duration as you feel more comfortable. Use reminders or alarms to stay on track. And consider keeping a journal to document your experiences and track any positive changes you notice. This can be a great motivator and help you see how far you've come.
I love that idea. It's like having a personal cheerleader for your meditation journey.
That's a great way to think about it.
Okay, we've covered a lot today, but I'm curious, what about people who are skeptical about all of this? Some people might think it sounds too good to be true. Is meditation really that powerful?
Well, it's understandable to be skeptical. There are a lot of, quick fixes and promises of instant transformation out there.
Yeah, for sure.
But with meditation, it's not about instant gratification.
Right.
It's about gradual and sustainable growth.
Yeah.
And the science is actually backing up what people have been saying about meditation for centuries.
Yeah.
We're seeing evidence of its positive effects on stress, sleep, emotional regulation, and even brain structure. Plus, there's so much anecdotal evidence from people whose lives have been changed by meditation. They're calmer, more focused, more resilient, and more connected to themselves and the world around them.
So it's not just hype, it's the real deal.
Exactly. The
Yeah.
best way to find out if it's for you is to give it a try.
I love that. The ultimate experiment.
Exactly. Who knows, you might be surprised at what you discover.
Okay, that's great. Before we wrap up part one, I have one more question for you.
Okay,
What's like the one thing you wish everyone knew about meditation?
that's a great question.
Hmm.
I think the most important thing is to understand that meditation isn't about emptying your mind or reaching some perfect state of bliss.
Yeah.
It's about developing present moment awareness, acceptance, and compassion. It's about learning to be kind to yourself, to simply notice your thoughts and feelings without judgment, and to find moments of peace and stillness in the busyness of life.
It's not about escaping life, but about being more present and aware in your life.
Exactly. And the more present we are, the more we can appreciate the richness and beauty of this human experience, even with all its challenges and imperfections.
That's such a great takeaway. I'm definitely feeling inspired to find some quiet time and try this out.
I encourage you to. You might be amazed at what you discover.
Okay, listeners, that's the end of part one of our deep dive into meditation. We'll be back soon with part two, where we'll explore even more practical tips for incorporating meditation into your everyday life. Until then, be well and happy meditating.
So to kind of pick up where we left off, you were asking about like the real benefits of meditation.
Yeah, like how does this actually play out in my life?
Right. So one of the biggest ones, as we touched on, is stress relief.
Okay, stress relief. I mean, who doesn't need a little bit of that?
Exactly. And that's where meditation can really shine.
Okay, so walk me through it. What's actually happening when I'm meditating that's helping me deal with stress?
Okay. So let's say you're having a super stressful day, right? Your to-do list is a mile long.
Been there.
You're feeling overwhelmed. Meditation essentially gives you a tool to hit the pause button. It helps you calm your mind and body and sort of step back from that chaos.
Okay, so it's like I'm not necessarily erasing the stress, but I'm getting better at managing it.
Exactly. You're building resilience. You're learning to not let those stressful thoughts and feelings completely take over. Instead of reacting impulsively, you can respond with more thoughtfulness.
Right. So instead of like, snapping at my coworker or, just completely losing it, I can take a step back, take a breath, and make a better choice.
Precisely. And over time, as you practice meditation regularly, you'll likely notice that you don't get as stressed as easily. Things that used to really get to you might not have the same impact anymore.
So it's like you're sort of training your brain to be calmer.
In a way, yes. It's about rewiring your responses to stress.
That's pretty amazing.
And remember we talked about how meditation reduces cortisol,
Yeah, the stress hormone.
right? So that plays a big role in this stress-busting effect. Lower cortisol means you're less anxious, more relaxed. You're able to think more clearly, even when things are tough.
Okay, so it's not just about like feeling zen, it's about actually being able to function better when things get hectic.
Absolutely. And that brings us to another big benefit, sleep. So many people struggle with getting a good night's rest.
Oh, tell me about it.
And it impacts everything, your mood, your energy, your focus, your health, everything. But here's the thing, a lot of sleep problems stem from an overactive mind. We go to bed, and our brains just won't shut off.
Oh yeah, like a hamster wheel of thoughts, just spinning and spinning.
Exactly. And that's where meditation comes in. By calming those racing thoughts, meditation prepares your mind for sleep. You create a sense of peacefulness and relaxation that makes it much easier to drift off.
So it's like giving yourself permission to actually rest.
Yeah, and it's not just about falling asleep faster, it's about improving the quality of your sleep. Studies have shown that people who meditate regularly tend to sleep more soundly and wake up feeling more refreshed and energized.
I mean, that alone is a game changer. I would sign up for that in a heartbeat.
Right. And here's something else that might surprise you. Meditation isn't just good for your mind. It also has some pretty incredible physical health benefits.
Really? I thought this was all about mental and emotional well-being.
It is, but the mind and body are so interconnected you can't really separate them. When you reduce stress and anxiety through meditation, it has a domino effect on your entire system.
Oh, I see.
So, studies have linked meditation to lower blood pressure, improved heart health, a stronger immune system, even reduced inflammation in the body.
Wow, it's like a one-stop shop for wellness.
Exactly. It's a holistic approach. And what's really fascinating is that we're starting to understand the mechanisms behind this. For example, research has shown that meditation can actually affect the expression of certain genes.
Oh, wow. Genes. I did not see that coming.
Right. It's amazing. Some of these genes are involved in inflammation and immune response. So by changing how these genes are expressed, meditation can actually help regulate those processes in the body.
That is fascinating. Okay, so we've got stress relief, better sleep, improved physical health. What about the emotional benefits? How does meditation help us navigate our feelings better?
Well, it all comes down to self-awareness and emotional regulation. Meditation teaches you to observe your emotions without judgment.
So you're not like pushing them away or trying to pretend they're not there?
No, not at all. It's about acknowledging them, accepting them, and understanding them better.
Hmm.
You develop this kind of inner observer that can watch your emotions come and go without getting swept away.
Okay, so it's like instead of being on a roller coaster of emotions, you're more of an observer, watching the ride go by.
That's a great analogy. And by developing this awareness, you gain more control over how you react to those emotions. Let's say you're feeling anxious about something. Instead of letting that anxiety spiral out of control, mindfulness allows you to say, okay, I'm noticing that I'm feeling anxious right now. What's causing this? What can I do to take care of myself in this moment?
That makes a lot of sense.
You become less reactive and more responsive. You make choices from a place of calm and clarity instead of just being driven by your emotions.
That sounds amazing. But I gotta be honest, sometimes it's hard for me to wrap my head around this idea of like observing my emotions without judgment. Can you give me like a real life example of how this might work?
Sure. Think about a time when someone said something that really hurt your feelings. Your immediate reaction might be to get defensive or maybe lash out.
Yeah, I think we've all been there.
But with mindfulness, you have the opportunity to pause before reacting. You notice the hurt, you acknowledge it, but you don't let it define you. You can choose to respond in a way that's more aligned with your values, even if it's just taking a few deep breaths before saying anything.
So it's about creating space between the feeling and the reaction.
Exactly. And that space is where the magic happens. It allows you to make conscious choices instead of being controlled by your emotions.
I like that. Okay, so for someone who's like, okay, I'm sold, I want to try this meditation thing, where do they even start? It seems kind of daunting.
You know, it really doesn't have to be. It's much simpler than you might think. The key is to just start small and be patient with yourself.
Okay, baby steps.
Exactly. And there are tons of resources out there to help you get started. There are apps, guided meditations online, even local classes. You can find what works for you.
Okay, so no need to like climb a mountain and find a guru.
Not unless you want to. But you can definitely start right where you are in your own home.
All right, I love that. Accessibility is key.
Absolutely.
Okay, so give us like a meditation 101 crash course. What are the basics?
Okay, so first things first, find a quiet spot where you won't be disturbed. It could be your bedroom, your living room, even a park bench if the weather's nice.
Okay, got it.
Then, set a timer for like 5 minutes to start. No need to go for an hour right off the bat.
5 minutes, I can do that.
Easy.
Right.
Then just close your eyes and focus on your breath. Notice the sensation of each inhale and each exhale. Just bringing your attention to your breath can really help calm the mind.
Okay, so simple yet profound.
Exactly. Now, here's the thing. Your mind is going to wander, especially when you're first starting out.
Yeah, I can already imagine my to-do list popping into my head.
Totally normal. And the key is to not get frustrated when that happens. Just gently guide your attention back to your breath. It's like training a puppy. It takes time and patience.
Okay, no judgment. Just keep bringing it back to the breath.
Exactly. And, even if you only do 5 minutes a day, those 5 minutes can make a difference. It's about consistency, not duration.
That's reassuring. So much better than feeling like I have to carve out an hour out of my already busy day.
Right. Start small, build a habit, and then you can gradually increase the time if you want.
I love that approach. Okay, so we've talked about mindfulness meditation, which seems like a great place to start. But you mentioned earlier that there are other types of meditation.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're looking for a little more structure or guidance, you might enjoy guided meditation. There are tons of guided meditations available online and through apps.
Oh yeah, I've seen those. They have guided meditations for like everything. Stress, sleep, focus, even creativity.
Exactly. So you can choose one that resonates with what you're looking for.
Okay, so walk me through it. How does guided meditation work?
Basically, you just listen to a recording, and the voice guides you through a specific experience. It might involve visualizing something calming or focusing on certain sensations in your body or repeating affirmations.
Oh, okay, so it's kind of like having a personal meditation coach in your ear.
Exactly. And it can be really helpful if you find it hard to quiet your mind on your own, or if you're looking for a specific outcome, like reducing stress or improving sleep.
So it takes the guesswork out of it.
Right. And there's also transcendental meditation, which is a bit more advanced.
Okay, tell me about that one.
So transcendental meditation uses a mantra, which is a specific sound or phrase that you repeat silently to yourself.
I've heard of mantras. What's the purpose of repeating them?
It's about shifting your attention away from your thoughts and towards a more peaceful state of being. The mantra helps to quiet the mind and induce a state of deep relaxation.
Okay, so it's like giving your mind something to focus on, something other than all that mental chatter.
Exactly. And with transcendental meditation, you typically receive instruction from a certified teacher.
So there's more of a like formal training aspect to it.
Right. And they help you choose a mantra that's right for you and guide you through the practice.
Interesting. Okay, and then there's that loving kindness meditation that you mentioned earlier. What's that all about?
Loving kindness meditation is all about cultivating feelings of compassion, kindness, and acceptance, both for yourself and for others.
Okay, I love that. The world definitely needs more of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's a really powerful practice for healing emotional wounds, fostering forgiveness, and building stronger relationships.
So how does it work?
Basically, you focus on sending feelings of love and kindness to yourself, to loved ones, to strangers, and even to people you find difficult.
Oh, wow, that's challenging.
It can be, but it's also incredibly rewarding. It helps to open your heart and connect with your shared humanity. And the amazing thing is, the more you practice loving kindness meditation, the more those feelings of compassion naturally extend outwards to everyone you encounter.
That is powerful. Okay, so we've got mindfulness meditation, guided meditation, transcendental meditation, and loving kindness meditation. It's like a whole world of options.
It is. And the beauty of it is that you can try different approaches and see what resonates with you the most.
I love that. It's about finding your own path to inner peace and happiness.
Exactly. And, even if you don't identify as a meditator, you can still incorporate mindfulness into your everyday life.
Oh, okay. Tell me more about that.
Well, think about all the things you do on autopilot throughout the day. Brushing your teeth, showering, walking the dog, even eating.
Oh, yeah. So much of our lives is just on autopilot.
Right. And that's where mindfulness comes in. It's about bringing your full attention to the present moment, no matter what you're doing.
Okay, so like instead of mindlessly scrolling through my phone while I'm eating, I actually savor each bite and pay attention to the flavors.
Exactly. Or when you're walking, really feel the ground beneath your feet. Notice the trees and the sky. Feel the breeze on your skin.
So it's about like waking up to the present moment instead of just going through the motions.
Exactly. And the more you practice this, the more you'll start to appreciate the little things that you might have been missing before.
I love that. Okay, so we've talked about all these incredible benefits of meditation, but I think a lot of people, even if they're intrigued, might be hesitant to try it.
Yeah, that's understandable.
What would you say to someone who's on the fence?
Well, first of all, I'd say that it's okay to be skeptical. But I'd also encourage them to just give it a try with an open mind. Even just 5 minutes a day can make a difference.
Yeah, what do you have to lose?
Exactly. And you might be surprised at how much it can impact your life.
Well, I'm definitely feeling inspired to deepen my own meditation practice. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us today.
It's been a pleasure.
Welcome back to our deep dive into meditation. We've really covered a lot of ground, from the science behind it to the different types of meditation you can explore.
Yeah, it's been a great conversation.
It has, but, at the end of the day, it all comes down to actually putting this knowledge into practice.
Absolutely.
So in this final part, let's talk about how to make meditation a sustainable part of your life, even if you're super busy and your mind is, always racing.
Because let's face it, we all have those days where it feels like our brain just won't quit.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes my mind feels like a browser with a million tabs open.
I hear you. That's why it's so important to create a space where you can intentionally slow down and tune in.
Okay, so we talked before about having a dedicated space for your practice.
Right, and it doesn't have to be anything fancy.
Yeah, it's not about having a medication room with a waterfall and incense and all that.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
It could just be a corner of your bedroom, a comfy chair, a spot in your garden, anywhere you can find some peace and quiet.
Like a little sanctuary, a place where you can just...
Be at.
Okay, so I've got my spot. What's next?
Well, one of the biggest challenges for a lot of people is distractions.
Oh, for sure. Phones, emails, kids, pets, you name it.
It's a lot. So minimizing those distractions is key.
Okay, so that means phone on silent, maybe even put it in another room.
Exactly. Turn off the TV, dim the lights, create an environment that signals to your mind and body, okay, it's time to relax.
Oh, I like that. It becomes like a ritual, a signal to shift gears.
Precisely. You're creating a container for your practice.
I love that. And speaking of rituals, you mentioned before that consistency is really important.
It is. Just like with any new habit, the key is to make it a regular part of your routine.
So, like, not just meditating when I happen to remember or when I'm feeling super stressed.
Right. It's about making it a non-negotiable part of your day, like brushing your teeth or having your morning coffee.
Okay, so pick a time that works for you and stick with it.
Exactly. Some people like to meditate first thing in the morning, others prefer the evening. It's all about finding what feels best for you.
Yeah, experimentation is key.
It is. And be patient with yourself. It takes time to build a new habit.
Okay, so what if I miss a day or even a few days? Does that mean I failed?
No, not at all. Life happens, we get busy, things come up. The key is to not let a few missed days derail your entire practice.
So progress over perfection.
Exactly. Don't beat yourself up if you fall off track. Just gently guide yourself back to your practice.
I like that. It's about self-compassion, not self-criticism.
Absolutely. And remember, even a few minutes of meditation is better than none at all.
Okay, that's good to know because sometimes I feel like I just don't have time for a full meditation session.
I hear you. But even just 5 minutes of mindful breathing can make a difference. You can do it while you're waiting in line, on your lunch break, even in the shower.
Mindfulness on the go, I like it.
Right. It's about integrating mindfulness into your everyday life, not just confining it to a formal meditation practice.
That makes it so much more accessible.
Exactly. And speaking of accessibility, let's talk about resources. There are so many great tools out there to support your meditation journey.
Yeah, I feel like there's a meditation app for like everything these days.
There pretty much is, and they can be really helpful, especially for beginners. They provide guided meditations, timers, progress trackers, all sorts of features.
It's like having a personal meditation coach in your pocket.
Exactly. And there are also tons of free resources online. You can find guided meditations on YouTube, websites dedicated to mindfulness, even podcasts like this one.
Well, we're glad you're here with us.
Me too. And, don't underestimate the power of community.
Oh, yeah. Connection is so important.
It is. See if there are any meditation groups or classes in your area. It can be really inspiring and motivating to practice with others.
I think that's a great tip. All right, so we've talked about creating a supportive environment, establishing a consistent routine, minimizing distractions, being patient with ourselves, and utilizing resources. Any other final words of wisdom for our listeners as they embark on this journey?
I'd say remember that meditation is a practice, not a destination.
Okay, what does that mean?
It means that it's not about achieving some perfect state of enlightenment or bliss. It's about showing up every day, being present with whatever arises, and cultivating kindness and compassion for yourself.
It's about the journey, not the destination.
Exactly. And trust me, the journey is where the real magic happens.
I love that. Well, this has been an incredible deep dive into the world of meditation. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us.
It's been my pleasure.
And to our listeners, we hope you feel inspired and empowered to explore the benefits of meditation for yourselves. Remember, even a few minutes a day can make a world of difference. So find a quiet spot, take a deep breath, and see what happens. Until next time, be well and stay mindful.